Let me introduce you the new transmitter, wireless and batteryless, that we developed in Schneider Electric. First, we come to the existing one, the XB5R, XB4R offered, which are basically batteryless and wireless push buttons. This whole offer is based on two transmitters, ZBRT1, which is working only when you press it, and ZBRT2, which is working both when you press and when you release. Those transmitters are only compatible with specific heads that we developed specifically for this offer. So when you press them, you will actuate the receiver. Pretty simple. Now let me introduce the new ZBRT1 and ZBRT2 transmitters. As you can see, the form factor is completely different compared to the existing one. Actually, the form factor is exactly the same as our well-known ZBE electrical contacts. The main advantage of this new design is that now you can fit not only with the specific push button, but any of the push button, selector switches, double push button in the whole XB4 for the metal and XB5 for the plastic, diameter 22 push button. So for example, push buttons, but also double push buttons or even triple push buttons. Now you can clip 3 of them and actuate at the same time 3 of the push buttons at the same time. For example, I can use with 2, and then you can control, for example, the first one and the second one. You can also use them now with selector switches. We will use the ZBRT2 version so that when you turn and when you release, you will have 2 different signals. Any selector switches, for example this one, then you can turn and release. So now we can adjust, for example, a machine. Now you can use selector switches. In terms of specification, they are exactly the same compared to the existing ones. So the radio performance is the same, the mechanical performance are the same, the mechanical robustness and electrical robustness, such as EMC withstand, are exactly the same. The temperature are even better now. It can work between -40 to +70 degrees. So the product is even more robust than the existing one. We kept exactly the same commercial reference, as you can plug and play, and you can replace the existing one by the new one without any issue. There is the full compatibility with the heads, with all the receivers that we have now on the market. Everything is compatible. Now you can control wirelessly a push button. So if you want to have a remote control, for example, then you can only add and produce and create your own push button inside your own box, for example, to control remotely. But also now, thanks to the new design, you can add it on top of existing contacts. Let's imagine you have an existing installation like that with a simple start push button, and then you want to add a function. So you start the machine, but at the same time you want to start a light, for example. Then you only have to clip it on the side or on top of an existing contact as well. And then anytime you will press the existing push button, it will trigger also a signal to receiver so that you can kickstart another action at the same time. And last but not the least, you can also now collect data from an existing machine using Harmony Hub. For example, let's imagine you want to know how many times a machine has been started in a day, or which emergency stop has been actuated on an existing installation. Let's take this example. So simple start push button and an emergency stop. You only need to clip now those new ZBRT1 and ZBRT2 depending on whether you want only the pulse when you press the push button. For example, for start, you only need to know when you press the start push button, or ZBRT2 when you need to know 2 status. So one status, when you press, you activate the emergency stop, and when you will reset the emergency stop. So you can know the time in between. So you only clip them and pair them together with Harmony Hub. And so at the same time you will keep the existing wire part, so you don't change anything in the panel. You only clip on top or on the side. So anytime you will press, for example, the start push button, so of course you will start the machine with the wires, but at the same time you will trigger data, and the Harmony Hub will collect the data so that you can pull the data out of the table inside Harmony Hub using Ethernet or Modbus depending on the versions, and then you can analyze and know exactly the time in between each start, how many starts a day. You can imagine a lot of applications. Same thing for the emergency stop. Anytime you will press the emergency stop, so of course the safety part, the wired part, will still stop the machine and do it properly. But then at the same time, you can collect wirelessly whenever you will actuate or reset the emergency stop. And last but not least, thanks to the specific ID of each transmitter, then you can know exactly which push button, emergency stop, selector switch has been actuated.